Hey everyone, it's the Dungeon Miser returning for another episode of Parsimonious Wizardry, and this week I'm not just doing a miniature project, but I'm also going to show you how to make a hobby tool that will radically improve your kit bashing, and it will cost you less than a can of Mountain Dew. You may be familiar with a tool called the Green Stuff Roll Maker. It is a textured set of plates that add a pattern to a sausage of putty or clay. These textures turn the material into a variety of tentacles, tails, wires, cables, pipes, etc. These can be added to existing miniatures or used to make them from scratch. It is a very useful device, however this tool will cost you a pretty penny. Prices range from $18 to $25 depending on where you get one. What if I told you that you could get the same results for less than 50 cents? Let me show you how. First, you'll need something solid to base your tool on. For my prototype, I used foam core as a base, but I realized I needed something a bit more sturdy than that. The foam core works okay, so if that's all you have, then you can use it. But if you have something stiffer, like a piece of wood, or even better, a rubber floor tile like this one. This is actually a sample floor tile that I got for free from a hardware store as a sample. It isn't big enough to tile a floor, but it makes a great roller base. I cut the tile based on the length of my texture pieces, and then I cut another one to match it. Next, I superglued a craft stick to one side to keep the textures from sliding off while the glue dries. For the texture, I'm using cocktail sticks, basically extra long toothpicks. Just PVA the base and slide your sticks evenly along it. I'm not leaving any gaps in mine, but you can certainly change the pattern by adding gaps or clustering sticks however you want. It's so cheap, you can experiment until you get a pattern that you like, or you can just make a huge variety of them for your collection of tools. You need to make two of these bases with the same sticks, and if you're doing a pattern, you'll want to do the same pattern on each one. And then together, you'll have a Green Stuff Roll Maker. You can use barbecue skewers, coffee straws, sucker sticks, matches, even zip ties, whatever you have that is even in size and plentiful enough for your base. Total cost, the tile was free, the cocktail sticks were about 20 pennies, and the art supplies were a penny, so just 42 cents for your brand new toy. But does it work? Let's try it. Okay, those are pretty good, but can you make monsters with it? There's a classic D&D monster called a roper. It is a creature that disguises itself as boulders and stalagmites, and when prey approaches, it lashes out with its tentacles to capture and mangle it. There are of course plenty of miniatures for these monsters on sale, but prices range from $5 all the way up to $25, so that's the perfect challenge to put the roll maker to the test. To make the roper, I wadded a short sheet of aluminum foil into a rough cone shape big enough for a 50mm base. I made sure to twist the foil at the top to make it thinner than the bottom and form a cone. For the mouth, I snipped the head off of a plastic dinosaur that had an open mouth and trimmed away the extra neck. When I had the jaw to the right length, I superglued it to the bottom of the foil cone, and I put it upside down so that the dinosaur eyeballs and nostrils were hidden underneath the mouth. Next, I pinned and glued a round bead on top of the mouth for an eyeball. Any size round bead will work here, I just like the big scary kind for this one. Now it's time for some tentacles. I rolled out some sausages of a very stiff polymer clay about 2 inches long and about 1/8 of an inch thick. I recommend using the stiffest clay or putty that you have. Of course, green stuff works, but all stiff clays like Sculpey, Fimo, Milliput, AB, Magic Sculpt, and the like will get the work done. Soft clay, however, just mushes around and it refuses to roll. I tried, but mostly I just got flat things. And if that's what you're looking for, then it'll work. But I was able to stiffen up the soft clay in the fridge until it was very cold, and then rolled it before it warmed up. So if all you have is soft clay, then you can still make it work. But if you can get stiff putty or polymer clay, get that first. Rolling itself is very easy. You just apply a light, even pressure and roll back and forth a few times to get the texture on. For these tentacles, I also rolled just the tips to make them into fine points. Then I twisted the entire tentacle into interesting swirls rather than just keeping them in straight lines, and baked them in the oven. After these baked for a few minutes, I poked some holes into the foil body around the eyeball and glued them in. After the glue was all set, I covered the body and base with a good coat of PVA, and I made sure to cover up any places that needed it and flocked it very lightly with a mix of sand and kitty litter. And I also made sure to cover up the gaps around the mouth and the eyeball and the tentacles. When that glue's all set, prime with a little Mod Podge and then paint it up. The texture on the tentacles turned out great with a wash, and you can hardly tell them from a store-bought model. Total cost, it was 10 pennies for the clay, 3 pennies for the dinosaur head, a penny for the base, and a penny for the art supplies, so 15 pennies or about 6 ropers for $1. I know sculpting your own miniatures can be daunting, and some of you may feel like you don't have the skills to pull it off, but tools like these don't require much talent, just patience. And as you can see, all I did was add some of these tentacles to one of the stone elementals from one of my previous episodes. It didn't require any masterful skills, but I still got a nice creep for my game table. Hit that like and subscribe button, and next week I'll show you some more easy monsters you can make with your brand new green stuff roll maker. Thanks for watching, and have fun.